Hey, everybody, and welcome to Monday Club. I'm Gus Davis.
And I'm Peter Bois.
And we are your guides through this amazing Monday Club. Holy rice-a-roni, it is time for Monday Club! Welcome, everybody. I'm Gus Davis. Along with me, as always, is my cohort and friend, Mr. Peter Bois. We'd like to cheers to the Girl Scouts of America. We're also going to talk about Gus going to a parking lot circus. What's that all about? We're asking the ever most important question, do we care about the Olympics? Pete gets referred to as the Dark Lord, and we have to talk about that. We talk about our segment this week in the news, plus we have a brand new segment we are debuting on this episode, and of course this week's Teachable Moment. Stick around, we got so much to do.
It's finally Monday!
Monday!
Yes! We can finally party!
Cheers, my friend!
Cheers, sir! Welcome to Monday and this Monday spectacular episode of Monday Club, episode number 48.
Oh my goodness, I just can't believe this is episode 48. I also can't believe how excited I am for it to be Monday today. I really had a full weekend, and I woke up like, oh man, how am I feeling? And I realized it was Monday. I was like, I'm feeling pretty damn good.
Yeah. Monday puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
That should be our new slogan. Monday Club puts a smile on your face.
Yeah, that's a bumper sticker right there.
Just like a blowjob.
Go on.
Puts a smile on your face.
Oh, I thought you were referring to the bumper stickers. I was like, wow.
That would be a good bumper sticker, just like a blowjob. No one would know what it means. I don't know what it means.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you have made it to your Monday, and we would like to guide you through this amazing Monday, help you have an extra day of the weekend. Look, we have an awesome Cheers of the Week for you guys, and I'm so excited because I didn't find this one. Pete, you did some legwork on this one, buddy.
I did. I was going through my news feeds of newses in my news apps, and I found this amazing story. It's a heartwarming story of the Girl Scouts, where they figure out the perfect place to sell Girl Scout cookies outside a pot dispensary.
So there's a little Girl Scout that set up a stand in front of a pot dispensary?
Yeah. And the headline, Girl Scout sells 312 boxes of cookies in 6 hours outside pot dispensary in California. In 6 hours. How many is that an hour? Do your math. Where's our Monday Club math?
That's over 50 boxes an hour. Which, if you think about it, there's 60 minutes in an hour, so that's averaging almost selling a box a minute.
52.
Yeah.
52 boxes an hour. Wow.
That is absolutely amazing. Now, the funny part about when Girl Scouts sell cookies, when they're doing it live and not doing it as an online purchase, it's the Girl Scout dressed up in their Girl Scout uniform, and they're there with a parent or a guardian who's just hanging out and kind of overseeing the whole thing. And it's usually the parent or guardian that says, hey, let's set up in front of a Walgreens or a place like that. So
amateurs.
That means that exactly, right. So that means that the guardian of this Girl Scout was like, hey, you know what? I know we're going to make bank on these cookies.
Yeah, and they were right, and they're smart. If I ever have to sell snacks, that's exactly where I'm going, to the local pot dispensary.
I would really love to see the demographics of like the just the spreadsheet of who went in, who came out, who bought Girl Scout cookies, and like who came back and bought more than one box. You know, because you got the 2 times that you can get hit on the way in and on the way out, and so it's like I wonder how somebody went in and they as they're going in the doors, they get some Girl Scout cookies. They go into the weed dispensary, they get all hooked up, and they're walking out like, dog, We didn't get no Thin Mints, dog.
Throw some in my bag. So the Urban Leaf dispensary tweeted it out that there was going to be Girl Scout cookies today with your order, like outside being sold. So they did have some help. I'm sure they talked to the dispensary and was like, "Hey, help us out," and they did.
That's so cool. Well, yeah, it's cool on the part of the Girl Scout and their guardian for having the foresight to do that. It's cool on the weed dispensary they know their clients. It's like if Funyuns could set up outside of a weed dispensary.
I know. Why aren't there more snack food, like vending machines right outside of that place?
Yeah, look, a mobile Papa John's station in front of a weed dispensary would sell all of the pizza.
Yeah. Done.
we just solved it. There you go. You want $1 billion idea for Monday Club? Take it and run with it with our blessing. Just set up a mobile pizza stand in front of a weed dispensary, and you're cashing your own checks, man.
Not only is legal marijuana helping with your tax dollars, it's helping support the local Girl Scout troop. So, cheers to the father and the Girl Scouts for being proud of this achievement that they have.
Cheers.
Wait, what troop was this? It was Troupe.
I think it was Troupe 420.
Yeah, cheers to you for Troupe 420.
Oh, God,
oh, man.
That's awful. Oh, it's truly bad.
It makes me want some Girl Scout cookies and. Well, this week I am drinking. I'm continuing with my wine. Last week I had wine. This week I'm going white. White isn't always my favorite, but I had an open bottle in the fridge that wasn't getting consumed, so I decided to take a shot at it. It's not too bad. It's a Chardonnay. It is Naked Grape, the Naked Grape, I believe. One of the local store favorites that gets everywhere probably. Shipped everywhere, but it's pretty good. I like it. A little sweet, but not bad.
All right. Well, sometimes you got to clean out the fridge.
That's my raving review of this Chardonnay.
Yeah, it was like it's not bad. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen of Monday Club. Y'all know me. Y'all been with us for a long time. Y'all know me. Usually I have like a pretty decent drink. I like a good scotch. I like a good whiskey. I like a good beer. This week, here's the real deal, Holyfield. I've been trying. Everyone around me has been sick with the flu, and it's that super flu that people are getting where you're seeing headlines of like, what are those people called? Like, not bodybuilders, but fitness instructors. Like there was a 27-year-old fitness instructor that died of the flu recently.
Really?
Yeah, there was a teacher. Like she was 30-something years old and died of the flu. That was just on the news. This flu that's going around is no joke. So if you get this flu that's going around, Monday Clubbers, do not pass go. Go ahead and get that checked out and make sure that you are taking care of yourself because it is not a joke in the streets out here with this flu. So I went to the store and I got as much. Do you know what Airborne is?
Yeah, the effervescent tablets with vitamins.
Right. The vitamin effervescent tablets, and I've been putting that in everything so that just to boost up my immune system and try to make sure that I don't get sick.
Oh, don't tell me.
Don't
tell me. No.
I made myself a Jack and Ginger that looks a weird color if you can see that on the YouTube video because I put one of those Airborne tablets in there, to try to make it healthy. And I'll tell you what, it screws it up hardcore, Monday Club. Do not ever mix Airborne and Jack Daniels. It's not a good plan. But you know what? I'm a giver. I'm doing this for you so that you don't have to experience this ever because it is awful.
What a terrible idea. Well, I'm glad.
And what's funny is I had such illusions. I was like, oh, man, I'm going to invent the drink, right? Like, this is going to be the medical drink that we should all at Monday Club during flu season or when allergy season hits and everyone's getting sick, Monday Clubbers are going to have the inside knowledge, like, oh, you just put like an airborne tablet in there and mix some Jack Daniels and some ginger ale and you're going to be good. I really thought it was going to be awesome, and I was like, strawberry ginger ale sounds pretty good. Like, how bad could that be? It's awful. It's just awful. So I'm gonna gag my way through this drink as we're going along for the show.
Well, I better cross that off next week's list, because that's the one I was going to not. Oh, man. Well, thank you guys for listening, and you're learning these great tips of what not to drink on Monday Club and being part of the club. We love you guys. Make sure you tell a friend about what we're doing up here. We want to grow the club. Tell us, give us a little love on iTunes, a little rating and review up there. That always helps get the word out. And we're on Spotify and YouTube, making occasionally some videos of our podcast, so check those out up there. And yeah, thanks for taking us along on your drive to work, your drive to a gig, or your alone time in a bathtub late at night with candles. We're happy to be there with you.
Yeah, Pete will hold your hand in a bathtub full of candles. Also, guys, just as a reminder, if you want to buy us a drink and either have us drink a concoction that you came up with and you want us to test out for you, we'll do that. Or if you have a drink that you really want us to share on the air with other people, please send that to us through our email, which our email is
mondayclubpodcast@gmail.com. And you know Gus will drink anything. Proof of it today. So
pretty much.
Recommend away.
Oh my God, I feel like I just opened myself up to such terribleness.
Man. Have you ever done, you ever go to Howl at the Moon? The
what?
piano
No.
bar? Howl at the Moon
No.
piano bar?
Uh-uh.
Oh, it's like a chain piano bar that they have a few around the country. And they have this thing called Fear Factor Shot. So it's a Wheel of Fortune wheel that has that has ingredients, alcohol, and also non-alcoholic drink ingredients on it. And when it's your birthday, if you go there, you get to go up and you get a free drink. But the free drink is called the Fear Factor Shot, and they spin this wheel, and I think they put 4, maybe 5 ingredients in it, and they mix it up, and you have to drink it on stage in front of everyone. I did that for my 21st birthday, and it was pretty terrible. I remember there was tequila. There was some 151. Is that's like grain alcohol, right?
Yep.
And then there was some Tabasco.
Yep.
And there was
sounds right.
I think there was some vodka as well. So there was like Tabasco with 3 crazy liquors, and it was
poor
pretty
bastard.
terrible. Yeah, the Fear Factor wheel comes with a bucket too, just in case.
Oh my God! Yeah, I think this is something that only 21-year-olds do, right? Because when I was 21, we went to a pool hall to play pool, right, billiards, and we were getting pretty faded there, and the bartender there was like, "Do you guys want a crazy shot?" And we're like, "Yeah, hell yeah." He's like, "I can either give you a 4 horseman, or I think the other one was like a 7-star general or something like that." And we were like, "I don't know, both." And he's like, "All right." And it was something crazy like that. It was like 151 Everclear Tabasco sauce. There was like some cinnamon schnapps in there, and one other thing that was just as hard alcohol as you could possibly get. And yeah, that was just not a good. It was a fine night. It was not a good morning.
Yeah, that doesn't help the wake up call.
No, it does nothing for your waking upness.
Oh no. So what's up with you, man? What's going on?
So, dude, I had an awesome, awesome weekend. It was just like a family-packed-filled weekend all weekend. And one of the things that I did that was super, super cool that I wanted to talk to you about, dude, was CJ calls me, and he's like, "Hey, there's a Cirque Italiana is in Austin. Do you want to go to the circus?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" So we got front row seats where we're literally touching the edge of the ring. It's a 1-ring circus under a tent, and it was me, CJ, Shannon, and Bryce, and just front and center, man. And walking into this, I should also say that the circus is set up in one of the local mall's parking lots. Right?
Yeah.
Which is. That was an interesting thing for me. I didn't really think of circus tents being put up in parking lots, but
they do fairs and carnivals like that, right?
Right. And I'm glad you said that, because they are this circus. I guess I want to talk about the front stage view and the backstage view of the circus, okay? The front stage view it was amazing. It was freaking awesome. They had tightrope walkers and a ring in like an 8-foot circle in the center ring that people did a roller skating act on, and they did juggling, and they did like contortionists and acrobatics, and they had a cool clown, and like it was awesome. And they had a water feature where a couple of the acts, the stage lifted up to the ceiling, and there was like the stage underneath the stage looked like a UFO with all the lights, and it had fountains that kind of squirted up and did some cool stuff. And I mean, it was really badass looking. Okay?
That's cool.
And
Any magicians?
Itself, no magicians,
What?
but a really good clown,
okay.
like one of those clowns that gets everybody clapping and cheering and uses music, and it was funny. Anyway, that's the front stage view, all right? The backstage view is, as an entertainer, as a performer, as somebody who produces events, it was so interesting looking at that thing and seeing where they put the money for this circus. Like, that water feature that they had where the stage lifted up into the rafters, and then they had fountains and stuff like that, looked really cool. And watching Bryce's face the first time that it lifted up, I mean, literally the jaw dropped. He was just like, that was the coolest thing he'd ever seen. But from a producer point of view, it's like somebody just bought that tent and was like, look, this is what the stage comes with. It comes with like this water feature thing. But it's not like any of the acts ever got wet or swam or used water in anything. It was just like a, ta-da, the stage moves.
We want to show off our $100,000 stage and rigging.
That's exactly what it was. It was like they could have done all the acts with the stage up or the stage down. It wouldn't have mattered. The
Production value, man. Perceived value. That's
perceived value. Thank you. That's exactly what it was. The perceived value of this, from just a layman's point of view, is that they saw a traveling version of Cirque du Soleil. Okay? That's the perceived value. But it was a carny show, man. It was like it could have been a carnival. Like, that same set could have just as easily been put into a Ferris wheel or a carnival show. It just happens that they did it all circus. And I don't want to say anything that makes it sound like it wasn't top notch, man. Like, it was great. It was a great circus. It was so interesting seeing seeing it from a child's perspective and then seeing it from a producer's perspective. It was like some of the seats were cracked. The water feature, one of the fountains was pointed in the wrong direction, and so it was like spraying water on the outside lip of the ring, and they just had some people just come with mop buckets in the intermission and just mop it up, and it was fine. It is fine. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that, right? But if it was Cirque du Soleil or some big time production, if it was in Vegas or something like that, like, that's not how that would go. Like, all of that would get fixed, right? But for a traveling circus, nobody cares. It was great, okay? Now, let me tell you the other thing that was really awesome about this traveling circus. So, obviously, they just pack up stakes on this tent, and every week they move to a different city, and that's just what they do. You know, circuses have gotten in so much trouble through PETA and people who didn't or were concerned about the mistreatment of animals and stuff like that, which is we could do a whole episode on just that thought, right? But this circus, the way they got around all of that and still gave the same feeling of like a lion tamer and stuff like that, they had 3 of the have you seen the YouTube videos of the really badass Velociraptor dinosaur costumes that they run around and they look real?
Yeah, and they're like shoveling snow or doing
well, no,
on a
I'm
trampoline.
not even talking. Yeah. Well, no, I'm not talking about the inflatable T-Rex ones, which look funny. I'm talking about these costumes are like $5,000 or $6,000, but the eyes blink and the mouth moves and the tail moves and the hands can move.
Oh, that's cool.
And I mean, it looks like, at first glance, you're like, holy crap, that's a dinosaur. And then you look a little bit harder and you're like, oh, I can kind of see the person's legs in the costume and the vent slits and stuff like that. Anyway, these are badass costumes, the badass Velociraptor costumes. And so they had scary music and the lights got dark and there was a fog that came out. And then here out of the tunnel comes these 3 Velociraptors with a trainer.
Nice.
And, I mean, because it's such an intimate one-ring circus with everybody kind of piled up there, I mean, it felt like the tail of the dinosaur could hit you in the face. And the dinosaurs, I mean, they're scary as shit, man. Like, for a kid, they're seeing a real dinosaur, and the handler was doing tricks with these dinosaurs. So he's like putting his head in the dinosaur's mouth and like making the dinosaurs go in circles and stuff like that. And it was a lion taming act with velociraptors. And from a kid's point of view, that's what they saw. They saw somebody like train dinosaurs, and Bryce was just enamored with that. And it was brilliant. I thought that was hands down brilliant for a circus.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. The brilliant part to me, and maybe this is what you're saying, is that if they did that exact act with lion costumes, everyone would be disappointed they didn't have real lions, right? But they did it with an animal that doesn't exist anymore, so they had to use these amazing costumes, so it was acceptable. So they got that feel, and they had a great excuse for not using real velociraptors because you can't get a hold of any velociraptors.
That's exactly right. It was brilliant. It was the most brilliant animal act that I've seen a circus do, especially with all of the drama with PETA and people who were concerned about the treatment of animals. It's like, what do you want? Not only what do you want, it's a puppet. It's a ginormous life-size living puppet, but you can use the same actors or the same circus performers. You just shove them in a costume. It's like you don't even have to pay people extra. It's not even really an act.
You know what's really ironic about that is after they're done their act, they take their costumes off and they put a chain around their ankle and get put in a little cage, get a little food, a little hay, a little tiny cage on the train.
Right.
Gets
There's
shuffled
barely
off to
enough
the next
room
show.
to lay down. Yeah.
They get beaten.
I see what you did there.
It's not an animal.
Yeah, that's right.
Different organization.
Anyway, it was a super cool circus. We had a blast. CJ loves circuses, and his love of circuses is infectious for anyone who ever goes to a circus with him. And it was so great. Bryce sat between CJ and I, and Shannon sat on the other side of me, and we did all the things, right? We got light up swords and flashing lights and popcorn and cotton candy and took pictures with the performers and all of that stuff. Like, it was a perfect circus. And so, yeah, man, CJ, if you're listening to this episode, buddy, I appreciate you inviting us and taking us, and certainly for taking Bryce. That was awesome.
That's cool, man. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hey, you've been watching the Olympics?
I watched the Olympics last night for the first time. I watched about 15 minutes of the Olympics, and I realized that I could not care less about the Olympics. Here's what happened.
Here, let me tell my story. Last night, I watched about 15 minutes of the Olympics, and then I just realized that I couldn't care less about the Olympics. We just told both.
Is that a real story?
Yeah. I sat down. There was figure skating on. And
figure skating! That's what I was watching, too! I had an out-of-body experience, man. I was sitting down on my couch. Well, I'll tell the real story. This is the real deal, Holy. We're all family, Monday Club, so I can just say this out loud. I was sitting on the couch. It was me on the couch, Shannon on the couch. Bryce was on a pillow right in front of me. We have the Apple TV, so I had to kind of figure out how to get the Olympics on our TV. I turned the Olympics on. It's figure dancing, ice dancing. I don't know, pairs ice dancing that came on. But it was the team competition, and it was the men's turn. So the men are all on the ice skating rink, and they're warming up on their ice skating routines. And Bryce asks, well, how come none of these ladies are wearing dresses? I was like, no, Bryce, those are the guys. He's like, oh, okay. And then we all just sat there and watched like 2 or 3 routines, and I could tell all of us were about to go to sleep. Like, none of us cared at all. And I just had this out-of-body experience. I was like, is watching this going to change my life in any way, shape, or form? Am I going to high-five anybody over how awesome this is? No? Yeah, we're done. We're done, Olympics. I'm sorry. We're just done. And I think the deal is, because I live in Texas where there's no snow, I have no connection to the Winter Olympics at all. It's like, I think snowboarding's cool looking, and I think curling's funny.
Yeah.
But other than that, I
not
can't.
much. Yeah. No, I hear you. The only
thing I think about,
like, I can appreciate the athletes and the game. I appreciate the games. I just don't like watching them. You know, they're just not interesting to watch. Obviously, they're really hard. I can't do that shit. But,
right.
But the biggest thing I appreciate about the Olympics is actually what they're meant for. Is right. It's a time where the whole world comes together and politics go aside, and it actually worked this year, right? North Korea and South Korea fielded one team, you know, like, that was like the biggest, to me, that's the big story. Like,
that's
holy
a huge
crap.
Story.
Like, we're making progress with North Korea. This is amazing. So,
well, let's be honest. North Korea and South Korea are making progress with North and South Korea.
Yeah,
we have nothing to do with that.
True,
but yes.
Well, technically, it could be our president could have. You know, I'm not saying he planned this, but
inadvertently,
North Korea is trying to prove they're less crazy than our president. I think they've succeeded so far.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. No, man, I totally agree. I think it's awesome that people are representing their country. I think that as an athlete, going to any Olympics is a huge deal, and I totally support that. I just don't know anything. I don't know enough about cross-country skiing or slalom skiing or figure skating or ice dancing to think that it's interesting to watch. Yeah. So,
I'm with you.
I mean, will I probably end up flipping to some Olympics later on? Sure. I do enjoy watching the bobsledding, like bobsledding and luging. I think that's cool to look at, but really it's like watching your uncle's film of when he was on a roller coaster sometime. Yeah. It's like, that looks like it was fun.
Or it's the reason why people watch NASCAR, right? To see a wreck. You're just seeing if someone's going to tumble down that half pipe of ice to their doom.
Yeah. To their death.
You're waiting for a disaster.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Especially the Winter Olympics gets a kind of a yawn from me. I love opening ceremonies. The opening ceremony was really cool, and again, I'm all for patriotism and unification and bringing the world together and spotlighting civil rights and whatnot on a grand stage. I totally support that. I just don't care about most of the Olympic sports in the Winter Olympics.
Yeah. You know what I care about?
What?
Where's your Patriot shirt? Wait, last week we specifically said you had to be wearing a Patriot shirt for this episode of Monday Club because you lost the bet, the season-long bet where you got to pick 5 teams up against my one team, the Patriots, and the Patriots went to the Super Bowl, did not win, but none of your teams even made it to the Super Bowl. So I ask you again, Gus, sir, where is your Patriots t-shirt?
Look, man, I got really busy, and I didn't forget about our bet. I actually did look on Amazon to see if I could get a Patriot shirt, and then something happened, and I forgot. And this morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, crap, Pete's going to give me shit for not fulfilling the bet. So next week, I'll have a Patriot shirt. I'll be wearing it. It'll be on the YouTube video this week for not doing it. Pete, I'm ashamed of myself. I'm as ashamed of myself as I am of the 5 teams that even stepped on the football field with your New England Patriots. I I apologize to our fans, to my family, to my son specifically, that his dad is such a loser that he would lose the bet and then not have the final touches and make good on the bet. I'm a bad role model. I'll remedy it next time. You have my sincere apologies, Monday Club. I'll do better. I'll do better.
Damn straight. I just wanted to bring you down a peg, not make you have to see a psychiatrist. But I'll take it.
All right. I have 1 week. I have 1 week to remedy this. Oh crap, this is gonna be tough, dude. Because I hit the road in 3 days, and if I don't get it delivered in 3 days, then our next episode I've got to record from the road.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah. All right. I'll see what I can do.
All right. Let's move along. Move on.
All right. Moving on.
Listen to this.
This week in the news.
Hell yeah!
God, that was good.
New intro.
Oh
music.
Man! Woo!
We officially have intro music for our In the News segment. So this week I wanted to talk about, it's been all over the news, Elon Musk, SpaceX sends the big fucking rocket, the BFR, the Falcon Heavy or whatever it's called, into space with a freaking Tesla Roadster with a mannequin in the driver's seat just like cruising along through space. How badass is that?
Dude, that guy wins. That guy wins at life. He is the most modern day man, I almost want to call him a Lex Luthor type figure, except without the evil. Please, God, do not let Elon Musk be evil. If that dude turns out to be evil, like, we are all totally hosed.
Yeah,
man.
we're dead.
Yeah. But anyway, that guy is living the rock star superhero smart guy rich guy dream, man. Yeah, there is no car commercial that will ever touch your own product being launched by your own product, taking pictures of your product, flying in space.
Right?
Like, go ahead, Ford. What do you have? Oh, you're like a rock? That's great. We're in space. My shit is flying around in outer freaking space. Like, you got nothing. So yeah, man. That was. Did you see the launches and the landings?
I didn't. I saw clips of it online, but I didn't see it in their entirety.
I mean, it's precision. It's beautiful. It's I heard
much. The rockets came down together. The reusable rockets. Yeah. They landed like perfectly in sync.
Perfectly in sync.
That's amazing.
It does not look real watching them come back and land. It looks fake.
That picture of the rocket spaceman in space in the Tesla, that doesn't look real. It looks like it's from a freaking movie, like some sci-fi movie where it's insane. The pictures look unreal of this freaking roadster flying through space.
You know what that means, though? That means that one of his lackeys, somebody who works for Elon Musk, somebody who gets a check for Elon Musk, was tasked with the job of, look, we're going to send this car into outer space, and your job is to make sure we get as badass of a selfie with this car as possible. That's your job. That's why I'm signing your check this month.
Priority
is to
1,
make that happen.
Make sure it doesn't blow up on launch. Priority 2, make sure you're going to get some fucking good camera angles on this shit.
Well, and it's not even like whoever was in charge of getting the selfie in the Roadster had nothing to do with the launch, the landing, the fuel, the none of that. Their job was like, all right, well, Elon wants a selfie in the Roadster. I guess we got to make this happen.
In the article I read, they said that the Roadster was a second choice. That was their backup move because they offered the space to NASA and to the U.S. government and the military if they wanted to put anything up into space for free. They weren't going to charge them at all. But the problem is Elon Musk was saying that the rocket might not even make it off the launch pad. So whatever they put in that thing, $1 million satellites and stuff might have been blown up. So it might have cost them a lot of money to begin with.
Well, so let's talk about the ramifications of this. Elon and SpaceX have proved that we can go up and down into space with the stuff that SpaceX is doing. And that's something that NASA hasn't been able to do. And especially this reusable rocket that they're able to do is, I mean, it works. They've done it. That's insane, man. That's some sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
And
it's just
I mean,
it's going to make it so much cheaper, and they're going to be able to, going into space in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be like going to the grocery store. You know,
well, and the thing that I'm excited about is that with a reusable rocket, what they're going to be able to do is get enough technology, enough platform, enough base camp, basically in space, that now all you have to do is get there, and once you get there, you can launch from there, and it'll be much easier. The hardest part about space travel right now is getting out of the Earth's gravity and into space.
That's true.
So if you're able to do that enough times and make a platform that you can launch from in space, now the cost of space travel is like insanely less than just one rocket, and especially one rocket that's not reusable.
Yeah, we need a freaking launch pad on the moon.
Right.
That's what we need. All right.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, I want to be part of your think tank.
Oh, come on, man.
You can hire me.
I think I would be shocked if Elon doesn't have that'smymoonspacebase.com already reserved.
He's the first realtor of the moon. I saw another article is that on one of the circuit boards that went up in the car, they printed "Made by Humans from Earth" on it. I thought that was so badass.
It's so great. I'm so happy. Good, Elon, thanks for giving us some, basically all of the bright news of what our future could be besides a glowing nuclear holocaust hole in the ground has come from Elon Musk over the last couple of years. And I don't know if you saw any of this, but there's some amazing pictures of SpaceX before, like 12 years ago when it first was founded, where there's like 12 people drinking margaritas with Elon, like hanging out in a big empty building, to now where you have two giant rockets landing simultaneously, perfectly in tandem on launch pads and returning from outer freaking space. I mean, you know what, Elon Musk, cheers to you, sir. Cheers.
Well, I'll drink to that.
Yeah, me too. Hey, so also in the technology circuit, I don't know if you saw this or not, man, but recently, who was it? It was Embark. Embark, is the trademark company, just had a self-driving semi-truck that just completed its drive from Los Angeles, California to Jacksonville, Florida, with no problems at all, completely autonomously. So
that's
our first
awesome.
semi-truck, completely autonomous, made its coast-to-coast trek. And I'll tell you, aside from space travel, which I think is incredibly important for the human race to get out of this planet and stop screwing it up, the next most important thing that we could possibly do is have self-driving cars. That will save more lives than almost anything else that I can think of right now.
Yeah. What is it? I'm pulling this statistic out of my ass, but 50,000 people a year die from car crashes. Is that the right number? In the U.S.?
I would say that would be one in the U.S. and two, I mean, without looking at any numbers, I would guess that that's conservative. I think that driving cars is the most dangerous thing that any human does, and we don't realize it. We all think that, hey, we're a good driver, but I drive my car every single day. Some days I drive my car 16 or 18 hours in one day. And in those times, every single time, there's at least one time where there's a kind of close call, from a fender bender to just a lapse in judgment, lapse in concentration, where I go into the rumble strips or something like that. And I'm a great driver. I hazard to say I'm a professional driver. Most of what I do is drive. having self-driving cars will save so many lives. And look, even if it's not perfect technology, let's say that there's 50,000 people that die a year from driving in cars, from car accidents. If we cut that number in half to 25,000 a year, that's 25,000 a year people that are still alive.
Yeah, that's not, people aren't dying from war in that rate. It's insane.
Right.
I just looked it up from the National Safety Council. 38,300 were estimated to be killed in 2015, and 4.4 million injured in the U.S.
There you go. And those injuries can range from, hey, I got a broken arm or I had a concussion, to paralyzed, and you're getting coloring books for the rest of your life.
So, yeah, saving people is going to be great. The number one, obviously, but think of how much our car insurance is going to go down, too, once everybody's on self-driving cars.
Well, and man, like, that's the thing, people. Like, I think we all need to just understand that the next 10 years is going to be about people figuring out how to deal with the new technologies that are coming out that are for the betterment of humankind. Like, it is going to fundamentally change the world to have self-driving cars. Gas stations aren't going to be the same. Truckers aren't going to be the same. Rest stops aren't going to be the same. Just so many things. Speeding tickets aren't going to be the same. School zones aren't going to be the same. There's going to be so much of our normal, how we think the world works, that is different when traffic laws aren't the problem anymore. And instead of fighting that and thinking, oh, they're going to take our jobs with robots and technology, what that means is there's opportunity out there to figure out how to make that better and how to push that envelope to make it safer and better for every single person. And I feel like looking at Bryce right now, my son is 9 years old, and he's starting out, like, he has never lived in a world where video chat wasn't a thing. FaceTime has always existed since he was born. And looking at him as a 9-year-old and projecting where he's going to be when he's a grown person, when he's in his 30s and 40s, and the way that the world is going to work it's blowing my mind, because he's got so much opportunity, and he's got that weird opportunity where, hey man, pick something you're interested in, figure out how you can help make that a better thing, and just ride that train. Because if you can do that right now, you're going to be on the cutting edge of whatever's coming next. Don't try to be a doctor or a lawyer or a middle management. That's just, that paradigm is changing. Anyway, it's really exciting for him and for where we're going, and especially semi-trucks. Like, I'm sorry if you're a trucker and that's going to affect your living right now, but I am going to say right here and now, semi-trucks being automated would be one of the best things in the entire world.
It's going to save a lot of lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gus, I agree with
Yes?
you wholeheartedly, but I have a surprise segment to introduce to you today.
A surprise segment?
Surprise segment?
Woohoo! All right.
This week, we make up the news. Oh, so this week, and this is going to be a running segment, so we give you the news, which is mostly true, I'm sure, and then we're going to make up the news, which is 100% or 99% inaccurate. So I've collected a handful, I'll say 5 to 10. Right now I have 6, but I'll collect 5 to 10 headlines of things I find in the news, and I will give those headlines to Gus, and then Gus is going to tell me what the article is about. Keep in mind, Gus has never read said article, so what he is saying is complete and utter bullshit.
100% absolute bullshit. Yeah, I'm so excited, dude. Pete just surprised this on me, and I am so stoked. Let's make it happen.
All right, so, headline. This mindfulness trick is super effective at calming anxiety.
From the Jedi Institute of America, we have come to a very special place where we have learned that there is some NLP that humans can do that will totally and completely erase anxiety. What you do is you speak in Yoda speak. That's right. You just, whenever you get anxious, you're in a public speaking section, all you have to do is speak out of order with your English words. That lowers the serotonin in your body and makes it where you can calmly and collectively speak to an audience of any size or any caliber. So, as an example, speak well I did at that segment. And see? I got no sweat, no stress. My heart rate is lower. My blood pressure is lower. That mindfulness stuff is amazing. Moving on.
Question and answer period. Now, sir, if you're a English as a second language person, does this make you less anxiety than English speakers?
Más bien y tú, biblioteca está muy Juan. You see, I did it in Spanish and out of order, and I got no stress. I did it in a completely different language. I don't even know Spanish.
Well, that's amazing. Headline, think you drink too much coffee?
No. Moving on.
Headline, 20 snacks that burn fat.
Listen, this is a really important thing, Monday Club. There are no snacks that burn fat, all right? You can be on a diet and have pre-planned meals that can help with your weight loss, but if you find yourself saying, I want a snack, there is no snack that is out there that will burn fat, okay? When I say, hey, I want a snack, what I actually mean is I want a personal pizza from Subway. That's what I actually mean, all right? And I'm telling you, there's no personal pizza from Subway that's going to help you burn fat. Next question.
Headline, try these 2 income strategies and you could retire with millions.
This, my friends, is a headline that is what is known as a Ponzi scheme. Okay? If you ever get an email that says all you have to do are these 2 things and you can retire a millionaire, just delete that as fast as you possibly can. My uncle and my aunt are on some, I think it's Herbalife. I think that's the thing that they're on. It's Herbalife, which it's a pyramid scheme. It's all it is. It's a pyramid scheme, and there's lots of those out there. I've seen hundreds of pyramid schemes in my life. Anything that says there are 2 steps to get to being a millionaire is lying to you, okay?
But Gus,
there's not 2 steps to being a millionaire.
This article is telling us, your article is telling us that there are 2 income strategies.
Yeah, there are. You know what? As with every pyramid and Ponzi scheme, there are only 2 steps to getting millions of dollars. Step number 1, you are hearing the sultry sounds of my voice and buying into my bullshit. Step number 2, you are paying me money so that I can tell you the 2 steps that are going to get you to be a millionaire just like me. There you go. I win. Millions.
Headline, couple sells all possessions for sailboat, sinks in 2 days into trip.
This is not even funny because I've actually been this couple that bought a sailboat and has sunk in 2 days. This is not a joke, man. My first sailboat, I bought a sailboat when I was in high school. I bought a sailboat for my mom for Valentine's Day. Everybody go, ooh. Yeah, I bought a sailboat for my mom for Valentine's Day when I was in high school. And I bought this boat, I think, off of Craigslist. We got the boat, we took it out, and the very first time that we took it out, that fucking boat sank. It just filled up with water and sank. And not only did it sank into, apparently where we were sailing, had some submerged, fences, barbed wire fences, and so we sank right in between some barbed wire fences. And so I had to get out of the boat, and I was climbing on barbed wire fences to try to unscrew our boat so that we could at least make it back to the car. Shit's real, man. This is a real headline. It's not a joke.
These are all real headlines.
Well, yeah. What I'm saying, this is real as in it happened to me. It happened to me.
That one's a little too sensitive for him, too.
Yeah, it's personal.
All right. Headline, SpaceX hides a second secret payload aboard Falcon Heavy rocket. And it sounds amazing. What is the second secret payload?
All right, listen. The second secret payload that Elon Musk hid inside of his Falcon Heavy was the body of all of the partners that he had helping him build the Falcon Heavy. He went like capo on all of these people and just put Toodle Dome in all the other scientists, anyone who, it's like the Sistine Chapel when you hear the thing where they built the Sistine Chapel and then the emperor was like, look, nobody who was part of this project can live because I don't want you reproducing this ever again. How are you gonna? There's no space cops right now, and so how are you gonna fault Elon for getting rid of all of his dirty work just in space? Like, what are you gonna do about that? Nothing. So yeah, the Falcon Heavy. Yeah, it was heavy. It was heavy with some dirt, deady bodies that were in the trunks of some of these cars that he was sending up to outer space. And now Elon's sitting pretty. He's like, whatever, man. Like, now there's not a single person out there that knows the secret of the Falcon Heavy SpaceX project.
Turns out that Elon Musk is a super secret villain. Gus, I think you did amazing. Monday Club, give him a huge big round of applause. That was pretty amazing. I sprung that on him. Cheers to you, sir. That was awesome. Great job.
Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road.
Oh, I've been on the road a little bit. So I was flying out of Portland, Maine on Thursday, and on Tuesday, I get a text from Southwest saying my flight is canceled 2 days beforehand, and there was supposed to be a storm on that Wednesday, but it was supposed to end at midnight. So there was really no reason for them to cancel it 2 days in advance unless, I don't know why they canceled it exactly. So I called the number that they text me to try to rebook, and I get this very nice lady. She's a very good customer service person. And I said, hey, my flight's canceled. I need to rebook on a different airports. What is available? And she said, well, we can move the time. Can you fly in at 4:30 and you'll be there by 9 o'clock? I'm like, no, I have a show at 8 o'clock. I need to be there before then. Is your date flexible? We can go the day after or the day before. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend an extra day on the road, and I need to be there that night. And
right.
So I fly out of Manchester and Boston as well. And so I asked her to check those, and there were plenty of flights that weren't canceled. So there was pretty much the same exact parallel flight flying out of Manchester that morning. So I said, all right, great, book me on that. And then she was like, well, let me check the price. And then she says that, well, that's going to be $200 price difference on that plane ticket. And I'm like, well, I didn't cancel the flight. You guys canceled the flight. You should just transfer my ticket. I have a ticket on this flight that's been canceled 2 days in advance and for really no reason because the storm's going to be way over by the time we fly. Why can't you just book me on that flight? And she's like, well, they're not co-airports, you know. If I booked a co-airport is, I don't know, something close. So Boston and Manchester are co-airports. So if technically I was booked in Manchester, I could easily switch to Boston. But Portland is not part of that conglomerate there.
That sounds like some bullshit.
Yeah,
okay.
Ultra bullshit. And so I was up for about 45 minutes basically arguing with this woman saying, look, she's like, what can I do for you? What would you like to do? And I was like, I'd like to fly out of Manchester. And she's like, okay, we can set that up. And then she's like, okay, what do you want to put that on a visa? I was like, no, I want you to just change my flight to Manchester because I didn't cancel this flight. You guys have done this for me before. So I end up basically getting so frustrated with this person that we parted ways. There was no harsh word said. And then I call the A-list customer service line, right? The one that you get on your A-list priority person
right,
card.
Right. Did you get the same lady?
No, I didn't get the same lady. And I told her exactly what I wanted to do, and she said, okay. She put me on hold for 3 minutes, and she's like, all right, it's all done. Have a good flight. Bye.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she just did it. Because I was an A-list customer or I called the right customer service line, I was like, wow. First of all, yay to me for having status on Southwest that I could actually have this number and call and get this plane ticket moved. Boo to everybody else in the world that if this happens to you, you're fucked, you know? So that was just a big pain in the ass. And then on this trip, so anyways, I get down there, and on this trip, I commit myself. I've been trying to eat healthy. I've been doing this under the radar. I know you're trying to eat healthy. You're trying to go a little vegetarian, and and I've been doing this under the radar. I've been trying to go plant-based, we'll call it. Less and less meat products, and just a lot more vegetables and rice and beans and just anything whole plant foods. And I've been working on this a lot at home. But when you get on the road, it's really difficult to eat healthy because there's not great options, and sometimes you're just really hungry at 1 a.m, and the only thing available are chicken McNuggets,
Oh, yeah.
And so I challenged myself to eat healthy for these 2.5 days that I was on the road, and I was posting all of my food choices on my Instagram story, and to really cement it, so I wouldn't, I couldn't flake out on myself, and I did it. So
good for you, man.
If you're trying to eat healthy, here's my suggestions. This is a bonus teachable moment. Breakfast is super easy. Any free breakfast at a hotel has oatmeal and a banana or some fruit.
Yep.
Don't
get
add
some yogurt.
Don't add any sugar.
Get some peach yogurt. You're good.
Yeah. Starbucks, great. Get the blueberry. The blueberry oatmeal is amazing. You get the blueberries, you pour it in, and then they have cinnamon over there. You just pour a little bit of cinnamon on top. Oh, so good.
That's how you do it.
It's basically what I have at home. Lunch, it starts getting more challenging as the day goes on.
It does.
Lunch, I had one day. Oh, now I can't even remember. I went to a Mexican place, rice and beans. You can just ask for a rice and beans, lettuce and tomato burrito.
Yeah, Mexican food is great for if you're trying to eat healthy and not do meat, but you still do cheese. Mexican food is awesome because you can always get a cheese quesadilla, dip that Jones in some guacamole or some queso or some sour cream, get some rice and beans, and you are good.
Yeah, I am trying not to do. I'm not cutting out cheese. I'm just trying to limit it. And I don't do. I don't do sour cream. I haven't done that in a while. But yeah. So I thought I was just getting like a rice and beans burrito, but then they dumped like a whole bunch of queso on top of it. So I was
they did.
I guess I have to eat it now.
That's what's known as a snack.
Yeah. And then at night, that's the difficult part. Okay, if you're performing at colleges, 99% of the colleges have amazing salad buffets, salad bars. So that was super easy. 2 nights I was eating at a college. You just load up your plate with spinach and broccoli and carrots and tomatoes and cucumbers and chickpeas and beets, and just put a little bit of balsamic on there, and you're good to go. Gus doesn't look satisfied with my choices.
No.
That's
but
what
I will say,
that's what I eat
one
at
of
home.
the things that I've learned about trying not to eat meat and trying to eat healthy on the road, really the secret for me that I've found, like my sweet spot, and I'm not saying this is going to work for you or for any of our listeners, but the sweet spot for me is just realizing that breakfast is the easiest not meat meal to eat during the day. And so if you can just continuously eat breakfast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then you're good. like potato and cheese and potato, egg, and cheese breakfast tacos are good 24/7. Like pancakes and hash browns and oatmeal and yogurt, those things are good 24/7. Like there's not a breakfast food that you can go wrong with.
Well, I'm trying to stay away from. I mean, hash browns are usually fried. That's trying to stay away from fried foods.
Look, man. See, you and I are doing different styles, right? Like you're trying to do healthy. I'm just trying not to eat meat, and I realize Oreos are not meat. You're good there.
I was off sweets too. No refined sugar at all this trip as well.
Look. In all seriousness, I'm trying to stay away from sweets too. I'm just, Oreos are not only vegetarian, they're also vegan.
Yeah, so you can eat as much as
many as you want, man.
Yeah, no calories in those. But I did find myself the hummus. You know those little hummus. Half hummus, half pretzels, the sombrero or whatever, Sbarro things that you find everywhere. I found those were a super duper great snack that I've had them before, but they were like my lifeblood because I was getting hungry and I couldn't find anything. And like when you're at the airport and there's only like this really rotted apple sitting at this station,
right.
and you want something that's not rotted out. That's what I did. I bought a rotten apple at BWI and I bit into it and it was just like this big brown spot. And I was like,
yeah, it's like a $7 crap apple. Yeah.
And then for my late night snack, that's the hardest. I'm telling you, it just gets harder and harder as the day goes on to eat healthy. After the show, driving, peanuts. I mean, there's a lot of calories, but they're not meat, and they're nutritious, lots of calories and a little salty, but it's really not a terrible snack to drive back to the hotel with. So,
yeah, I've realized that if I can be on it and I'm not in a rush, going to a grocery store instead of a convenience store, just making a quick stop in there and getting like a boiled egg or some trail mix that don't have M&Ms in them is like my crusty M&Ms. Those are my sweet spots when I'm able to do it. But if you're going to a really crap gas station because that's the only thing that's around wherever your venue is, it is rough out there for a pimp trying to not eat meat and to eat healthy.
Yeah, and if you see me, obviously I don't need to lose weight. My weight is fine, but just eating healthy and nutritious, densely nutritious food is important to me because I want to live to 100.
Well, speaking of you living forever, didn't you also have a person who told you that you were the Dark Lord and that might cost you a gig?
Yeah. So the show I did recently, I've been doing. I'd have to check, but I did this at least 5, maybe 6 years in a row, and it's always a fantastic show. They're amazing people, and there were multiple people that came up to me after the show and said, "Man, I've been coming to see you for my 4 years I've been at this college. I'm a senior now. I'm graduating. Take pictures, handshakes and hugs, and I really enjoyed watching you. It's been a tradition. It's been cool. Just a cool thing that." You get to see people once a year.
You're part of their tradition and college experience.
Yeah, and then after the show, the person that booked me, and super, super great people, like I said, but there was this new person on staff, apparently, that went to my website, and they found, now the school's in the Bible Belt, it's a religious school, and they found a quote from a school that said, "Peter blew my freaking mind. He is the Dark Lord of Magic." And to any regular run-of-the-mill person, they would say, that's a funny quote. It sounds like he's really good at magic tricks, right? Right. That's funny. But to this person, apparently, they think I'm truly a demonic lord of magic because they put in a complaint to the school. And now this is my job. This is a repeat school that pretty much has not, guaranteed to book me every year, but they have been, and so
for the past 5-6 years.
Yeah,
right.
So they were going to have me next year because it was easy and they like me and it's a tradition, and I'm literally potentially going to lose my job because someone said a funny quote, "I'm the Dark Lord of Magic," and someone is too sensitive with their religious views to think that's appropriate for their students.
Man, that breaks my heart, dude, because, it's all subjective, man, right? Like, that person took out of context a quote that was on your website and put their own belief system on it and then reported you back as oh, well, he has demonic things in his show, or that you're being compared to the devil in some way, but not in a joking way, but in a serious way. And the funny thing is, that wasn't even your summoning spirit show, right?
No, yeah. I mean, I have a show where I pretend to talk to ghosts. I mean, come on, at least pick that one. I mean, you're picking the obviously funny quote from a school that I put it up there because I thought everyone would get it. Like, oh, that's funny. He's the Dark Lord of Magic. How many times have you done a crazy magic trick and people run away calling you the devil? They don't think you're the devil. They just are calling you the devil. It's funny.
Well, listen, if this school ever listens to this episode of the podcast, which they won't, but if they do, listen, I've known Peter for a very long time, and the only time I've actually seen him worshiping the devil was on a Sunday, but it was like the third Sunday of after Christmas. It was fine. So, yeah, he's not the Dark Lord of Magic. In fact, every other magician that listens to this podcast knows Pete Bois and knows that he's actually a saint. So get over yourself. It's just a funny quote, and hire this man because he's good at what he does.
Thanks, Gus.
You're welcome, buddy.
One last tag to that. That person did not even come to the show. That person is going to literally get me fired from a gig, and they didn't even have the courtesy to come to the show to see for themselves what my show is about, so they'd have context for what they're viewing. They just want to run their mouth and, I mean, look, I'm not going to be on the streets because of this losing this gig, but I got a family, I got a mortgage. You're literally gonna you're gonna affect my income over some, oh my God, I'm offended by something like as trivial as that. It's ridiculous.
Monday Club. On the count of 3, we're all going to do a collective boo to that guy, okay? You ready? On the count of 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Boo.
Boo! All right. Thanks, Monday Club. We appreciate you.
I'm done my rant.
All right. Well, look, then real quick, you had some serious stuff that happened to you this week. For me, I got to put on my producer hat this weekend. Our improvised band, my wife has an all-improvised band with a drummer, a guitarist, and 3 other singers besides herself. We put on 3 different shows at 2 different venues. Both of them were bars, and it was so... Man, I get to be a performer for 90% of my life, but putting on this producer hat and taking care of a band and dealing with the band contracts and dealing with setting up the equipment, and they get to use all of my toys, so my new Bose L1 sound system, I'll set up for them. I've got a couple of microphones and mic stands and lights and all of the stuff that you take when you're on the road doing a magic show or something like that. I let them use, and so putting on my producer hat just makes me so freaking happy, and it's so great to, now the band comes up to me and they're like, Mr. Gus, can we get food at this venue? And I'm like, yeah, I'll get food included into the venue, into the contract, and I got a gift card for one of the venues we had for their drinks and stuff like that. Anyway, being a shady band manager is like my spirit animal, and I've just been really enjoying it.
Do you wear like a fedora and kind of just like sit in the back, like,
Yeah,
I got plans for you. I got plans for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do all the things, man. Like, I wear a hoodie with the hood on. I bring cigars but don't light them. I have the band come up to me and be like, are we going to... What's the next step, man? And I'm like, man, I think we're gonna, and legit, I'm doing real stuff, man. Like I had a videographer come out to one of the shows that we did this weekend and get good video, and we're gonna produce like a small promo video from that. I have some submissions going out for some festivals, some improv festivals to happen, and I mean, I'm actually doing the thing that I'm saying I'm doing, which is really weird because it started off as a joke.
That's awesome. Do you call everybody?
Yeah, it's fun, man.
Do you call everybody babe? Hey, babe, you're doing great, babe. Babe, good job, babe. Good job. I love you, babe.
No, but that's because my wife's the lead singer.
Oh. So you only say that to one person in the band.
To one person, yeah. But I'll tell you what, having your wife be the lead singer of the band means that when we come home, I'm like, hey, I sure did have you framed as the center of attention there,
That could make things hot.
Yeah.
Oh, I see Gus blushing.
I'll let you know when it works out.
Oh, and that takes us to
Teachable Moments.
My teachable moment this week is to buy this t-shirt. Ready? I'm going to show it to you now.
third to last Jedi, give or take a few. I love it.
Thanks. I saw this headline t-shirts.com or whatever. I'm on their emailing list. They sent this, and I just had to get it. Third to last Jedi, give or take a few. I love this t-shirt. Haven't worn it yet, but maybe tomorrow.
That's pretty awesome. I have 2 teachable moments. Teachable moment number 1, I cannot stress enough, do not ever put Airborne into your drink. I had a giant drink of Jack and Ginger with some Airborne in it. It's now all gone, and it was truly awful. I grimaced through the entire thing. Teachable moment number 1. Teachable moment number 2 comes from my circus experience this weekend. Guys, in all my years on this planet, one thing that I've learned is that when you're a kid, moments that you go to are magical, right? Christmas is magical. You wake up and you run to your stocking and you get presents and you think, oh, this just happens magically, right? Tooth Fairy is magical. Going to circuses and other fun events, they're just mind-blowingly magical. As you get older, you have to pay for everything and realize that, oh man, like this year I just don't feel like wrapping all the damn presents or whatever. Look, all you have to do, here's Gus's secret to success. All you have to do is in your head realize what the picture is that you're trying to accomplish, and then do all the things that are going to make that picture happen for you, and you'll realize that now you've done it. You've recaptured that experience from childhood as an adult. So as an example, we went to the circus. We got to the circus. We did all the things that you do at a circus, right? Instead of being cheap or passing it up because we don't need it, we bought the $10 light sticks and the crazy LED spinny things that you get to when the lights go out so everything looks cool. We bought cotton candy. We bought popcorn. We stood and cheered for everyone that came by. We oohed and awed like we were kids. And we got, as adults, the experience that you were supposed to get as a kid for going to the circus. And it was really easy. It cost me $30 extra for popcorn and light up things. And we walked away going, oh man, that was it. That was the circus. We did it. Instead of sitting back and just being Judgy McJudgerson pants. So if you are going to a thing and you realize that, hey, we want to have a certain experience, think in your mind what it is that's going to make that experience happen for you. Do that so that when you're done with the entire thing, you can look back and be like, hey, look, we did it. We got what we paid for.
Good advice.
Thank you, sir.
Both of us are telling you to buy shit. Buying
right.
shit makes you feel good. So go out and buy stuff and
use money instead of feelings.
Oh, man. So great to see you, Gus, on Monday. Happy Monday Club to you, sir.
Hey, man. Happy Monday Club to you and to all of our listeners out there. Have a safe and happy week, and we will see you next time on Monday Club. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening to Monday Club. We seriously love you, and we couldn't do it without you. Hey, guys, you can always find us at MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook.com/MondayClubPodcast, Twitter @MondayClubPod, Instagram @MondayClubPodcast. Email us or buy us a drink through PayPal at MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Of course, a special thanks to Mr. James Caldwell, our sound engineer, and our music from Mr. Zach Holder. You guys go out, eat, drink, be merry, be safe out there, enjoy the Olympics, and we will see you next Monday on Monday Club. Woo! Girl Scout Troop 420!
Show title.